It's all on us. Just out the gate. Your top five, Kansas City.
Top 5 Kansas City artists. Phenom.
I
Nah,
like that though.
my top 5 would have to be um, my number. Okay, let's see. Counting down. Um, Damn, it's crazy because I know a lot of Kansas City music. I think number 5 would be. I ain't gonna put them in order because it's too much catalog. But definitely the top 5. You're gonna have Tech in there for sure. You're gonna have Fat Tone for sure. Fat Tone was damn near like our 50 Cent in Kansas City. Um, you got Rich the Factor. Shout out to Rich. Rich is the reason my name is Irv Da Phenom, because Rich was the Factor. So when I was making my rap name, I was like, I gotta be the something. So you got
Okay.
Rich. Let's see here. You got Ron Ron. I want to put Ron Ron at number 1. I want to put Ron Ron at number 1 because of how he changed the culture. And for the 5th one, I'm gonna say Big School. Yeah, Big School from the Rogue Dog Villains.
So you're not in there.
I mean, I can't put myself in there.
You can't.
The people could put me in there, you know what I'm saying? Because if I put me in there, I'm all 5. So, yeah, you know. But that's my top 5, and yeah, that's.
So you could probably have another 5.
Yeah, I could add 5 more for sure. I love, Rest in Power to Nesto the Owner. You know what I'm saying? Greg Enemy. Currently we got Kai Colors, and he's amazing. We got Craig Smith. We got who else? This isn't really going into all the super new artists, but we got so many people, man. Like, I could probably name like 30 artists that are all great and all, you know what I'm saying, could go on a global level.
So if I was a betting man, would I have lost that bet? Or not really? I would have lost?
Yeah, some of it.
What did I say? What did I write you? When I asked you?
No, you got the bet. Yeah.
I
Did we
would've
say
lost?
we were?
I would have lost?
Did we say we were just doing hip hop, or could it be
No,
anything?
just top 5, period.
See, and then that's the whole other thing. We get into the R&B.
So did that make my statement valid, maybe?
Um,
You can tell them what it was.
Basically, he said you didn't have a top 5.
What do you mean?
Me, I'm thinking you don't have a top 5.
That I don't have a top 5?
Reason being, just like you said, you could have named way more artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how you do music and you see music, it's too many people. You know what I mean? You can really pick from.
Here's the thing, though. It is a top 5 in Kansas City because the people that have broke new ground for us, we gotta respect that. We gotta respect our pioneers. Yeah, for sure, because we're from a market.
So
of
musically, like just strictly making the music,
just making the music.
is it a top 5 for you? Just making music, and I'm getting somewhere with this though.
Just making the music, it's still a top 5 for sure. We don't like as a region where people say we don't have a sound.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the architects that gave us a sound, that are giving us a sound. So I still say a top 5, and of course, again, it's Rich and Tech are gonna be there. Ron gonna be there because, like I said, he's changed the culture. Because coming up, it was really you gotta be on some street stuff, or you had to be lyrical miracle. Ron came in and straddled the fence, you know what I'm saying? And he was fly, you know what I'm saying? This is like around this time, high-end streetwear was a big thing. So he was rocking the 10 deeps and the, you know, fashion style, but also, you know, in touch with what was going on in the neighborhood. So it was like, yeah, Ron Ron was dope for that. And then Fat Tone, because Fat Tone embodied the energy to the fullest extent. You know what I'm saying? Like to his own detriment sometimes. So it's like, but it was real. It was very Kansas City, and sonically, it was fire. And then you also had an artist whose charisma, you know what I'm saying? It was charisma. A lot of artists don't have that kind of charisma anymore at all. Like ODB is one of them type of artists. I put Fat Tone in that tier of like, you are that person that's on that record.
Would you have a 5 for now?
Top 5 now.
Yeah. It ain't got to be top. It can just be, because I don't even want to put people.
I'm about
out
to
there.
say
I
it
want
gets
them
so weird.
to- Or give me 5 artists you respect. They craft now. You
I'm
know
gonna say
what
5
saying?
artists I want to work with. And we talking about Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 artists I want to get a record with that I don't have a record with right now. Well, I got records with everybody for real, but I want to do some more work with Kai Colors. I want to do oh man, Shay Lyric. If y'all ain't
She's
never listened to
hard.
Shay Lyric, when I tell you she raps, she not like, oh, that girl's rapping. It's like, no, that MC happens to be a woman.
I
Like,
seen her on a podcast.
she's crazy.
And I went and took a deep dive. I'm like,
yeah, she when you be, she said what? Like, nah, she hard. So I like her. Who else I like? I want to do something with Miss Kush. Like, I done met her through Rob Lowe, who fired too. But I knew she was hard, but I really started listening. I'm like, nah, she's crazy. Who else? Rob Ruckus. He's always been dope. People always tell me like, yo, you gotta check him out. And I finally sat down and listened to a project. I'm like, nah, that man he's putting thought into this. He's really, really like rhyming. You know what I'm saying? Who else in Kansas City do I want to work with? Whoever, I'll say a 5th one is whoever's out there that's just hard as hell, like they in their basement, they perfecting their craft, they get nice as hell, and like, cause it's always the kid in the studio, in the basement, studying and becoming the one, like, and they gonna do, so whoever that is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably ain't met him yet,
That's
I might have met
fire.
him, you know what I'm saying? But I look forward to working with whoever that is right now. They might be 17, 18, and I'm gonna be able to see like that thing that I had at 17, 18, and want to work with them.
so we're going to get to that. So the reason I brought that up, when I was listening to your music, I've always listened to it, like here recently for whatever reason. Since we did the panel, I've always been tapped in, but it made me tap in more. So I can't remember what CD was out then.
Maybe Super Bowl player, maybe
No,
before that. Dream Big
whatever it
Hustle
was,
Hard Volume 2.
It had the signature on it, like in yellow. I can't remember what album that was.
I think that was Super Bowl player. Was I sitting on the couch?
Nope. Let me go to it actually. Make a long story short, I heard that and it plays on my phone not automatically because I searched it on Apple. So if I get on my car and it connects, you'll song, all different kind of songs I play, but for whatever reason, at least 5 times a week, your music comes on,
That's tight.
right? So before we even got here today, I've been listening all week. Once we set up the interview, I'm like, let me rewind this. Key made a post and it was like,
Oh, shout out to Keith the Heater.
Your album
Yeah.
ain't playing on somewhere. I don't know if it was YouTube or Apple or something,
Yeah.
maybe. It had some difficulties or something. So I was at work and then I'm like, oh, you dropped something? So let me go check. If Key is checking for your shit like that, I consider Key,
He's one of them.
he's
Yeah,
one of them. So
for sure.
if he's checking, it's some admiration in there somewhere. Let me go check this out, right? So unbeknownst to me, that this motherfucker was a stupid fire. I maybe had one skip. And I was at the end though. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So one of my favorite CDs is the Donnell Jones, Where I'd Rather Be.
Yeah.
That's my favorite CD in history, no skips. better than Confessions.
Yeah.
To me. Argue with your mama, whoever want to argue with me on that.
Yeah.
That's better than, to me. Just all the way through, straight R&B, and I lost hope for R&B. It's gone to me right now. It's completely gone. So when I checked it, when I played it out, number one out the gate was fire. I'm like,
Appreciate it.
this nigga is on. So number two, I'm like, he started off like this. Please don't let me down. Two, fire. Three, that might have been a song with Church Boy, maybe.
Yeah.
Number three.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
It kept going, right? Then he got the song with the Case sample. I'm like, he better not fuck this up. I'm upset. I'm like, the audacity of this nigga to get this beat.
Yeah.
So I'm listening. I'm like, oh, he killed his son of a bitch.
You gotta respect it.
So I called out. I said, hey, bro, you heard Irv shit? No, I ain't heard. I said, well, you need to get somewhere and figure this out. You need to go listen to this, bro. I wanted to make a post, but I'm like, I'm not even going to make a post. I'm going to hit Cuz up. We got to do an interview. I want to tell him this to his face. I do not want to write nothing. I was bro, I was, anyway, I'm going to get back to this too. So I go through the whole, I'm talking about it's R&B'd out, right? I'm in heaven right now. I'm fanned out at this point and like, damn, this nigga brought R&B back and he's from here and nobody's really, you know what I mean? Like you don't hear nothing about this album. This is crazy. I did not understand it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, I call Al again. Al, did you listen to the CD? No, I'm gonna get, all right. Destiny made a post about, she bringing Adina Howard here. They made a post. Who said that? I'm like, Irv. I think I tagged you. I don't know if you seen it. It was the other people that tagged you too, though. But I'm like,
okay.
Oh, this nigga brought R&B back, man.
Man, that's a big compliment. I appreciate it.
Like, why did you do that? How did you? What made you be? I'm thinking it's gonna be more rap. So I don't know. First, are you more rap or R&B?
Right now, I'm pivoting. I'm pivoting into more soul R&B sound. It's always gonna be some bars in there, you know what I mean? But I've been rapping since 2006, 2000, you know, and kind of trying to prove I'm the nicest rapper, and don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. Nobody cares.
Oh.
And you know, for the love of it, the hip hop and me, and you know, because I love it, I do it. But it don't matter how good you can rap. So you know, in my heart.
When did you notice that? Sorry to cut you off.
I feel like I noticed that in like the SoundCloud rapper era. Like whenever 2014, 15, it just turned into it's like always a consciousness shift amongst the masses. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens subtly, but everybody kind of just agrees that, all right, we're going to let this shift happen, and this is what we're going to be on for the next decade or so. And I think that started around the time where everybody was Lil something with colorful locks, and it's not vilifying them at all. You know what I'm saying? That's lit. And I was in the club partying, traveling, doing all that stuff to that music, but it's also like that's just not where people at right now. And there's always going to be people who want to hear Nas, who want to hear Kendrick, who want to hear that. They're always going to exist, but it's not going to be in the forefront. And what happens after you come out of a cycle like this, where we've been dumb as hell for a decade, is people say, all right, I'm tired of being stupid. I'm tired. I need some substance. I need some content. Like, talk to me about something in your music. And we're coming up on that now. And sonically, you know what I mean? I've always loved R&B. I've always had vocals in my music, cadences, singing. But you know, a lot of my female listeners was always telling me like, yo, if you just gave us like a full R&B album, and I said, you know, it's that time. And also some content, some subject matter, it needs to be sang, because you can't emote the emotion fully through rap. You can put all the words together and everything, but you got to sing certain things. and just in life, how life has been going and where I was at around the time of this album being put together and coming out, I needed to sing. So, you know, but I've always sang and rap, so, you know, it just depends on where I'm at.
This is no disrespect. So hearing the album, right?
Yeah.
It made me hate Red and Yellow.
Talk about it. What's up? Why you say that?
Because but that's old too, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you're so much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like creating the album. I was like, I got to make one for the thugs. I got to make one for the this, for the this, for the that, for the that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, this is his most streamed song. Hit 1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
And shout out to everybody that made that song what it is. It streams it every season. It skyrockets, and I appreciate
going
everybody. I
to.
love it. Yeah, for sure.
but I was like, damn, he was so much doper than that. Though. But I'm at the tail end too, though.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I went on a 13-year. Like, damn, he came from here to where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if he was able to be himself back then. I don't know if you still would have been able to.
Well, here's the thing.
Well,
I was doing the same, not the same music. You evolve as an artist,
Yeah.
but man, it's funny that you say that, like, because you don't want to come across ungrateful for anybody pressing play on your music. You know what I'm saying?
I really didn't want to say that, but I had to say it.
Nah, I'm glad you said it.
But it was a big up though. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, okay, man, the city on fire. Let me do this. Which is kind of what you still have to do that to grab their attention. Like they say, Kanye raps, and he didn't really give a fuck about music. He cared about clothes.
Yeah.
So he rapped to get really get his shit on. So you still got to do. You had to do what you got to do to get where you at now. You know what I'm saying?
With Red and Yellow, it was genuinely a freestyle about Kansas City. Like, I wasn't even, you gotta keep in mind, there were no sports songs when I came out with Red and Yellow. There was no, that didn't become a thing until after Red and Yellow came out and did what it did. Then every season we got a new rapper giving us a sports song.
Fact.
Which is dope. I love that, you know, people have saw the lane and been like, okay, let me see what I could do with it. You know what I'm saying? And I've had a lot of artists that hit me like, hey, I want to run this past you, let you hear it, and give me some tips or what can I change, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's tight. This for me though, it was just one freestyle of a tape full of freestyles. You know what I mean? And the city chose it, and that's what happens. I've learned about, you know, songwriting is you can like whatever you like. You can put 1 million hours into a record, but the people gonna choose what's the one. And sometimes it's sometimes it's the one that you just was not tripping off of at all. Like, and that's what Red and Yellow was, and it took off so fast. Like, I'll never forget, shout out to Brian B. Shining in 103. They just put it on the radio. Like, I didn't send them the record. I didn't, like, people was calling me, yo, your song on the radio. I'm like, I never gave them this song. They edited it for the radio. I'm like, dang, they did the radio edit and everything. So it's just like when something is in demand or the people resonate with something, it's going to go. Yeah.
Reminds you, y'all, this is
13 years ago.
13? So this is just me listening to his album now and being like, my first song I ever heard was Red and Yellow. Mm-hmm. So it's not a knock, and it's actually you're like 10 years ahead of your time. And ahead of us in music, and I was jealous as fuck too. Like, thinking about this shit, like, damn, this nigga, man. So, get back to the top 5. I was saying that because your music helped me realize that top 5 shit don't matter.
It don't.
And the elites don't care really about top 5. And I say that because, like, even you going on tour, like, you experience shit that we have never experienced, and you were young, at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, speak to that. Like, first off, how'd you start rapping? When did you start? And how did it? Because I feel like you shot like a rocket. If I can go back to it, like so you started rapping. A year later after this, and then another year after that, you on tour.
Yeah, I was always. We can get into it more later, but like now that I'm grown and I've taken the time to kind of go back through my childhood and understand why I was escaping things. You know what I'm saying? I was building an alternate reality because of trauma. That's what I think was really fueling me because I was crazy. I was insane. I'm tapping back into it now, but in a healthier way. But nah, I was insane, bro. I was just like,
What you mean insane? As far as
I wanted what I wanted. Like there's no logic. There's no. It would be like I don't have no gas in my car. I might got like half tank of gas. Gateway Classic is in St. Louis. I'm like, I'm going to the Gateway Classic because I got some CDs to sell in my trunk, and I'm gonna sell these CDs. And if I run out of gas, I'm gonna sell some more CDs.
Yeah.
And then I get to Gateway Classic in St. Louis and be like, oh, I done made $200-$300 off these CDs. Let's go ahead and go to Chicago. And I drive to Chicago. I was crazy
Pushing
like
the
that.
limit, yeah.
Yeah, like that. And I didn't care, bro. There was no looking corny. There was no like, you know. And then at time, hand-to-hand CDs, people would be like, nigga, I don't want your CD. Or they drunk, talking crazy to you. Like, we didn't. And I have my guys with me from the neighborhood. You know, everybody's not as like mannerable and like level-headed.
Yeah.
So we wound up in all kind of stuff, but it was just like I was so ate up with it that was it. So when you say it was like it seemed like I heard about you, then this is because, bro, you couldn't talk to me if you didn't have $5 in your hand to buy my CD.
so,
So that's where I was at with it.
was your drive better than the CD, or did you believe in your work, which is what drove your drive?
See, and that's what's so funny. Like when you get older, you start listen. I don't listen back to much of my stuff because it make me cringe because I hear like, oh, this was mixed crazy, or I could have said this here, or you know, the arrangements. But when I listen back, I know it was good. You know what I mean? Because I used to have my number on the CD.
Yeah.
My phone number would be on the CD, and I go like, let's say, back when the Great Mall was open, way out I-35. I done got kicked out of there so many times, but I'll be out there selling CDs. And before I pull out the parking lot, my phone done rang 3-4 times, and the girl would be like, "Oh my God, track number 4. When you say such and such, oh I like." So I used to be blowing my phone up, calling me, telling me, "Yo, I love this song, I love that song." So I knew it was something special. And at the same time, I'm pushing my line. Like I said, like I'm gonna sell all these CDs out this trunk. I'm gonna talk to every single person. I don't care how many no's. I'm gonna get these CDs off. So I think it was a combination of both. You know what I mean? And then it would be older people. I approach them respectfully, and they would be happy to see like, oh, look at this young black man out here doing something positive. He just trying to sell his music. I seen the old ladies coming out the mall. I seen to everybody. So it was this thing where I think maybe the combination of like the admiration of like, this little dude is really serious about his thing, and like he will not leave me alone. And then they listen to music and like, damn, man, it's good.
It's actually dope.
Yeah. So it's like it just worked that way, and I think people saw that so much that I was able to, genuinely build a rapport with people and like a genuine respect to where they're like, okay, he's serious about it. It's like if somebody car stall out on the side of the road and you see them get out and they pushing, you more likely to help out and help them push than you are to see somebody on the side of the road and they trying to flag you down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people saw me pushing this vehicle by myself sometimes, or it's freezing outside, or I can't get in the club because I'm only 16 or 17 years old, but I'm still out there trying, And yeah,
That was a nice analogy. I'm usually like the analogy king, and that was perfect. I like that.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
But it started in high school, yeah. To answer your question, music started in high school, and it started with hand-to-hand, burning CDs and selling them in high school. And then as soon as I got my driver's permit, started driving out of the state. You're not supposed to do that on a driver's permit, but as soon as I got my learner's permit, I was gone.
What got you that ambitious though, to where you like, I'm pushing the limit? You had a goal in mind?
Nah. I mean, I did, but like not like how I think of goals now. You know what I mean? Now I know what's required. I know how to scale. But at that time, it was just, no, I had a goal in mind. I remember I said, I want to be a millionaire before I turn 18. I want to be a millionaire before I turn 18. Like, mind you, I didn't know how or nothing like that, but I was doing what I could. I know I could sell some CDs. And I think it's just in me, though, because because of my blood. You know what I mean? My dad is an entrepreneur. He's always been a hustler, and watching him do what he's done, it's just been instilled in me. Like when I was a kid, you know, they sell candy at school.
Yeah.
I would beg him. I'd be like, "Oh, can you sign this so I can sell candy bars for the school? They trying to buy a basketball goal or whatever." And he got so mad at me. He was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not." He's like, "What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you to Sam's Club and I'm gonna buy you your first box.
Yeah.
And then everything after that, you're gonna take a little piece of that and you're gonna put it to the side so you can buy more boxes. And you're gonna come down to the shop and you're gonna sell your candy to all the customers that come down." And he never would let me sell candy for the school because he explained to me how it worked. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, "You gonna work for yourself and I'm gonna show you how to do it." So it started with that candy, and him doing that, you know, I might have been 4th, 5th grade then, but him doing that just taught me, you know, being able to wiggle for yourself and not become a piece of a thing where there's no like real skin in the game for you.
Oh, that's dope.
So I took that in the music.
Man, we've been having conversation. I didn't have pops around, so that's one of the things I missed out on, learning certain stuff too. You know, from a wrench to whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know all mom's side of whatever, but I feel like if I had another half to learn from, I'd have been so much, you know, better. So even within my kids, it's like I gotta have them learn something from me.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
You know, if I
male
hear,
figure is a
you know, my
blessing.
favorite
for sure.
color. You know, I bowl, I do this, I do that, I do that. You know, so to have both sides of the spectrum, that's another thing I was jealous of too. I was hearing, well, I seen Al's pod y'all had, and you said, like in church, you kind of learned to not be shy, basically. You know, you was dealing with the money, you was dealing with this, which kind of helped you out in life to be able to go out here and sell these CDs because you've already been in front of big crowds.
Yeah.
How much did that help your music, you think?
The church?
Yeah.
The church helped a great deal. I'm from the Church of Christ, and for people that don't know about the Church of Christ, there's no instrumentation. So there's no organ, there's no tambourines, there's no drums, there's no musicians. It's just a cappella. And the Church of Christ believes, because scripturally it doesn't mention when, you know, they're describing how worship service is supposed to go, they don't mention any instruments, so they say, well, we don't put them in there. And, you know, when you grow up that way, you get used to all a cappella, all harmonies. So some of the most beautiful, buttery, big harmonies, that's what I heard every Sunday. And, you know, and as a kid, I mean, we was in church. We used to go to morning service, afternoon service, Wednesday night Bible study, vacation Bible school, song meets. Yeah, I mean, we stayed in church. So
That's
yeah.
crazy because I don't hear many harmonies in your projects, though.
Yeah, I think that it's something that music is moving towards more, because yeah, we're getting back to that space of big harmonies. It just right now musically, it's not even. People say it sounds dated, which is crazy to me.
I love harmonies.
Yeah,
Love them.
yeah, definitely more harmonies coming though for sure as we move more towards the resurgence of R&B. Let's get back into the harmonies.
So how you had it as far as like you was hand in hand with the CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Would you where you are right now as an artist? Do you wish you could have handed it off like that, or being online?
Oh, I was doing both for sure.
I'm saying like now, like how it's online now, right? It's easy to reach people.
Which do I
online.
like better?
Yeah.
Oh, the hand to hand for sure. Cause online, see the thing is, if somebody told you they wanted it or they told you they had motion, back whenever it was the hand to hand era, it's like, how you got motion? Ain't nobody heard your CD. Like if I go to a room of 100 people in Kansas City and I say, or I play a record,
Yeah.
and nobody's heard it, odds are they haven't heard it because you haven't put the work in, versus somebody just dropped a record on TikTok, the algorithm showed them some love, and everybody heard the record, but they've never done anything. They never left their house. They never done anything. So it's like the scale is different. Whenever you had to do hand to hand, you also had to build presence, charisma, character. You had to really interact with people. And it's almost like media training in real time. Whereas now, a lot of the artists that you might see a perception of is so well curated behind, just it's the internet.
Text, people can text all day.
But they
Get
can't
them
get in the
face to
room and
face,
shake
you
nobody's
can't
hand or talk or nothing.
look
You know what I'm saying?
eye to eye, yeah.
And it's like, I feel like that human interaction is what made me comfortable now in things far past music. You know what I mean? Like, I could do public speaking, teaching, all these different spaces that my start came from the music side, but it translated into everything. But if I only was behind a computer the whole time and never had to, build my people skills, it wouldn't be the same.
So, like being on tour, and I'm gonna get to how you even got on tour. Being on tour, did the people know your music, or was it a mixture of some people didn't know it and then some people did? And what is the being on tour? This is what I really wanted. Being on tour with nobody knowing the music.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is that?
Okay, so my tour experience was different. My first proper real tour was
With you being one of the artists is on tour.
See, that's the thing. I had went on tour before I was an artist. Well, I was an artist, but before I was on the bill as an artist.
Right.
So by the time I went on tour on the bill, they knew my music. There was people in the crowd in all the cities who knew my music, because the tour before was me selling CDs. I was just a same thing I was doing in the city all the the few years where I was selling CDs. I was doing in every city for Tech.
For his music.
For his music.
So did you put yours in there with it, or what?
Come on, baby, I'm from Wyandotte.
Come on now. Okay, so let's rewind on how you even got there. Taking them there. How did that even happen? I guess before we get to them tours, how did you get in touch with Tech, or whoever you got in touch with?
So how I met Tech, so now we going back to the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
So
My bad. I know this is.
Nah, it's all good, man. In church, and I appreciate the questions you asking, because people kind of ask, but they don't. You making me think about it and really map it out. All right, so in church, one of my big brothers in church, his name is Irv Taylor. He was one of the smartest, first young black millionaires to do what he did off of tech. And when I say tech, I'm talking about technology, website, making websites, all this stuff. Ran it up, super successful, popping. And he saw me doing my thing musically at the time. I'm probably 16, 17. He's like, hey, I got some, at the time, somebody giving you $1,000 and saying go do music with it is huge. So, he took a couple bands and said, what do you want to do? He didn't say I'm trying to sign you. No, he just said, hey, what do you want to do, little bro? Cool. And, of course, at the time, I'm from the hood. I want to put the whole block on. I want to bring 7 dudes to the studio with me and put my group on, which I did, and it was dope. And, we had everything popping that way. So in the midst of me making this group album for my guys called Triple Threat Society, TTS, we're in Chapman recording. And if you're from Kansas City, you know that name means something. You know what I'm saying? Chapman recording was the...
Echelon.
You don't get any better than Chapman.
Top shelf.
Yeah, and rest in peace to Chuck Chapman, man. One of my mentors, dude. Super cool. Always just, if you know about Chuck Chapman and how thick his resume is, how much work he put in, I think about being like this 19-year-old kid coming in trying to learn how to do business with him, and he would explain to me the invoices. He really worked with me. Chuck was a good dude. So at the time, we in the big dog studio, because this is where Tech 9 record. This is where, if anybody flew in from out of town, any major acts, it was at Chapman's. And this is when Chapman was downtown.
Not in Kansas.
Yeah, Chapman downtown. It used to be on something in Wyandotte, like 17th and Wyandotte, downtown where the Opera House is now. That's where Chapman used to be. So we in the old Chapman, and I'm hype as hell. It's like it don't really get no bigger in Kansas City than that. And in the session next to us, Tech Nine is working on Misery Loves Company. I want to say Misery Loves Company was the album at that time. So I'm looking like, oh man, it's crazy. We cutting our record over here. We next to Tech Nine. He got to take us serious. Like, where else you seeing kids in Chapman? Because at the time, Chapman's like $80 an hour or something crazy.
Yeah, it was high.
So it was a little lounge in the old Chapman. Like, you would come down this hallway. It was studio, I want to say it was like studio A over here, studio B over here, and then it was a little lounge with snacks and stuff. We in there eating all the snacks. Like, you got to keep in mind, this is a bunch of kids from Wyandotte between the ages of 16 and 19, just all in Chapman. So, we be in there, and what I do is I peek my head out and I look and see like when Tech or one of them be out there in the lobby, and then we go back in there and work on stuff. And then I went out and I seen Cut Calhoun. Shout out to Cut Calhoun. I seen Cut and start talking to him. Hey, I'm Irv, da 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 da. And of course he looking like, man, what y'all little niggas doing in this, in the Big Dog studio? I'm like, oh man, we working on da da. Come in here and listen to it. So he listened to some of it. Then we go downstairs. He went down there to smoke a cigarette. I'm down there just talking to him. And I asked him to get on the record. And he showed me love. He got on the record. You know what I'm saying? Cut Calhoun was the first person from Strange to do a record with me. But while we was down there talking, he was like, yeah, we working on such and such. Come up here and listen. So I come in there, I meet Tech, and everybody kept saying the same thing. Like, what y'all doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, yeah, we working next door. So from there.
So what was they thinking when they brought you in, though? Like, bro, why would you get this little nigga from, man?
Cut walked me in. So it's kind of just like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Cut, what are you doing? Like,
nah, they
embraced it?
Say, back then, like, them niggas was cool, man. They was always cool. Like, they was just cool. It's big bros. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I walked in there. More than anything, they're just like, if you in here, once he told them like their session is next door and they hard, you know what I'm saying? So we just kind of built like that. And after that introduction, I kept doing music, kept doing my thing. And what I would do is I would pop out selling CDs at everything in the city. And when Tech Nine would do a signing, me and my guys was at the signing because it's a bunch of fans to us. We like these are potential fans in this line. So we go out there and sell CDs, and Travis will run us away like, yo, y'all can't be out here selling CDs. Again, we from Martin, nigga, you can't tell we can sell CDs. You know what I'm saying? We was hard headed, so we was just out there and we do it so much, and it got to a point where eventually I feel like they noticed like this little dude is everywhere selling these CDs. He could, and I don't know if they said it, but what happened was after long enough. And I would go to Tech shows. And at the time, I would be the only black dude in the crowd. Because now it's a little different. But back then, it might be 2-3 black people in the crowd. And he would see me at every show. And I bring my girl. So now it's 2 black people in the crowd. And he remembered from the studio. And I never tried to push my line with music with Tech. I never was like, hey, put me on the song, da da da. I went to Travis and sat down with him and was like, hey, look, I know you done seen us all over selling CDs. I want to learn how to run a label. I want to learn how to do what y'all do because they're the biggest thing I had seen as far as the infrastructure of a label. And I sat down with Travis and I told him, man, I'll do with it. Like, I'll just promote. I can put your post. Like, when I'm out selling CDs, I can put y'all posters up because they used to do this campaign where they'll staple posters all the way up the phone pole. You remember seeing that? Yeah, so, I was trying to learn how to do all that stuff and how to make my own merchandise and all that. So, yeah, I started off as an intern and just like in the streets, putting posters up, passing out flyers while I'm out selling my CDs and stuff. So from that, they were like, okay, he's killing it. Do you want to go on tour as a CD hustler? And that's essentially where they have hard copies of their CDs and all the people that's in line, they send like 2-3 dudes out before the show. You ask every single person in line, hey, have you got that new Tech Nine? You got that new Cut Calhoun? You got that new Chris Calico? And, I killed it. I was on tour doing that, and I'm, I broke records selling CDs because that's what I knew. And they got used to me doing that. And, you make friends, you crack jokes, you talk about, them shoes is fly. You selling people stuff, you know what I'm saying? So in doing that, people got used to my face. And on that tour, Man, them early Strange tours was fun as hell, bro. It was like it was this DVD called Strictly Strange '08. Shout out to Joe Vertigo. Somebody brought some salvia on the bus. You know what salvia is?
Some smoke.
Synthetic weed.
Okay.
It's like K2 or something. And they I'm young and stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, smoke this is legal weed. And at the time, again, legal weed, nigga, ain't no legal weed. What's legal weed? You know, just smoke it. It's legal. It's legal. And everybody's like, no, it is legal. I don't know what K2 is. I'm like, that shit ain't gonna do nothing. So I smoked it, and I should have knew because as soon as I smoked it, it was a dude named J Nut. He was the cameraman on the tour. He bust out the camera. I seen the camera light come on. I said, oh shit. I smoked it, and I don't really remember nothing else. Everything was just bright ass lights. And I just started laughing hella hard, running down the street. If you get on YouTube and look up salvia, you'll see what it does. so that was DVD footage that wound up on the Strictly Strange DVD in, I want to say that was like the '08 thing. So after that, everybody laughed and remembered like, oh shit, that's the CD hustle from that. But around that same time.
You know, I don't feel good about that.
What, salvia?
That story just sounds like.
It was, that's light work.
Okay, all right.
That's light work.
Like you telling me that, I'm like, that on.
Tour was like a pirate ship.
Tech, man, about that. I don't know.
Oh, no. There's two buses.
Okay, all right.
There's the tech bus. At the time, there was a tech bus, and then there's like you have Tech, Chris, and Cut on a bus, and then you'd have the opening acts, the road crew. So
just some jokes type shit.
It was balonies and bunks, all kind of, like, tour is silly as shit. Like, it's a bunch of strangers that don't know each other going city to city, having hella fun, and like you become friends by doing shit. Like, there was a DVD player that'd be in the top of your bunk, right? And then it fold down so you could watch a movie. Doing shit like putting bologna in the DVD player so it fall down. It's like college, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we was always just out there kicking it, doing silly shit like that. And yeah, so one of those nights on that tour, I knew Chris Calico from roller skating, and you know, I was playing him something, and then he was like, "Come on the bus and let me hear it on the bus speakers." And Tech was on the bus, you know. And again, I never was like trying to get signed or nothing, but I knew Chris already. So it was playing on the bus, and bus speakers is loud as hell, and Tech came from the back, and he was just like, "What is this? This shit jamming." He's like, "Oh, this Irv." He said, "Nigga, you selling CDs? Nigga, you ain't supposed to be selling CDs. You supposed to be making music with us, nigga."
Yeah.
Psh, that was the tightest shit ever to me at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I grew up listening to hella Tech Nine, love Tech Nine. So he's like, "Nigga, you supposed to be making music with us." And shit, after that, when we got back home, we was making music. So by the time I went on the second tour, they had already known me from selling CDs. The DVD came out, and I was on, I think the first record I did was like Party All Night or something on like one of the CDs, and I did some background vocals on the Chris Calico project. But the people started putting two and two together, and then there started becoming more of a demand. People like asking like, "Yo, y'all should sign this Irv dude, y'all should," you know. So to answer your question, by the time I went on my first tour, they were familiar, and it grew from there because, you know, they had forums. It was called like therealtech9.com. And once I saw that this is the fan base that's gravitating towards my music, I would be on the forums just making friends, talking to everybody, promoting everything, just promote. So I would be in real life doing it. I'd be online doing it. And then going on that tour, it just is like lightning. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom, 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 boom. Chain reaction. So by the time I went on tour, it was already a thing. And I, from working as an intern, learned about merchandise. So when I went on that first tour, I had already had my merchandise game together. So every city, I'm not just selling CDs, giving you a good show, but I'm leaving you with a T-shirt with my name on it. So it's building, like, yeah.
So you had already thought past rap at an early age.
This is before I turned 21, yeah.
It ain't even just rap.
Yeah.
You got to do this. You got to brand yourself as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's that shit I be talking, like top 5 shits. I can't even, there's not a category to even put you in. You know what I mean? When you're an art, first, because music is good. You already thought like that. You put yourself at one of the lowest levels. You know what I mean? That people wouldn't do. Like most people, hey Nick, hey, can you sell these CDs with me?
But that's what's crazy. The game, like people not understanding. It's
Yeah.
the game you finna get. You about to learn the whole inner workings of a record
Just
label.
being there.
Just being around. Why? See, here's the thing. If somebody's like, "Hey, bro, let me just hang around and watch your process," nigga, no, I don't know you. Versus, "Hey, how can I add value to your situation?" Like, again, how can I help you push this car? Like, that was the end for me, was being able to just add value.
I would want to watch the process though, because a lot of people don't understand it. People think you just hear the music and that's it. They don't know you spend $600 for the beat. Another maybe 12 hours total studio time for one song. You know, because I feel like if people seen it, they'd be able to appreciate it more. Like, oh, okay, I'm thinking small. I spent $200 on the whole project. People would try to squeeze in 3 songs in 1 hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit that's unrealistic, and think you're gonna get Irv results.
You
I
gotta
wonder why Irv charged $1,000 or whatever. You know what I mean?
You gotta learn the process by watching it, but you get in that position by offering value. I think a lot of people miss that. A lot of people miss the sweat equity. You know what I mean?
I think because they don't know about it.
Well, now they know. Sweat equity is a major key. A lot of the most successful people you know will see you're already moving on your own, and you're willing to humble yourself and bring value, not just take. A lot of times people don't understand, like, if you show good character with no skill whatsoever, people will take you over somebody with hella skill, but it's not coachable. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's literally having an attitude of being a servant. You got to be of service, and this is whenever you the biggest dog in the whole thing. The big dogs have an attitude of service, so they respect the attitude of service from somebody that's trying to get in. You can't lead if you're not a servant.
Okay, this is another thing I feel like people don't. I ain't gonna say this. So let's build an artist, right? We got a empty canvas. As an artist, if you was to create an artist, what would be the steps? You can just let's just do 5 steps on what you would do for it, like as an artist, what you would do now.
To create an artist,
I'm an artist. This is just a blank canvas. Right, first I'm gonna do this. Second I do this. Third
if I was creating an artist in 5 steps, I would make their image something that kids could dress up like for Halloween.
Okay.
If you pass that test, your image is together. If I say I'm Irv Da Phenom, so that means I'm gonna walk around with this wine glass, I'm gonna have tattoos on my head, I'm gonna wear like a vintage whatever, and people gonna know that's me. Boom. Okay, good. Number 2, I would make them very honest. Whatever their reality is. Let's say he's a pizza man. He delivers pizza. That's all he know. His songs got to be about delivering pizza. You got to be honest. Because there's going to be relatability there. There's going to be a group of people that also deliver pizzas, that also remember working that type of job. Number 3, he would have to be transparent. He or she would have to be transparent about the struggles, or what's the not so glamorous part about it. Because everybody loves a damaged hero. Why do we love 50 Cent? Because he was fucked up. He went through a grimy background. He got the bullet holes in him to show you. You know what I'm saying? Why we love Mary J. Blige? She got a scar that looked like a tear. You ever notice that? Mary J. Blige got a scar on her face that looked like a teardrop. All her songs was about heartbreak.
I just know I could 2-step to go ahead.
Yeah, it's just our nature. We just like shit like that. I would also give them a culture. And by culture, I mean, if I'm a Wiz Khalifa fan, I know we gonna talk about smoking weed. I know we gonna call ourselves tailors. We're gonna have a culture amongst each other as a community, as fans. You build a community.
We'll get back to Wiz Khalifa here in a second too.
And then the 5th thing, I would make them technically dope. You see what I'm saying? All that's cool, and you can get off an artist that's subpar with those four things. But when you add that fifth part of actually being able to rap, sing, perform, whatever the medium is, like, they would be dope. They would practice their skill and be actually good.
Okay, now let's get to the rapping. Me, what helped me in rapping, right, is being able to count 16s.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I write in fours. 4, 8, 12,
Right.
16. You know where you at, you know we in the middle, you know you got 4 more. You'd be amazed at how many people don't know. Hey, how many is that? Count where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did that matter to you?
I always felt it. It was always innate. Like, it was like I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like, you know when you hit that eighth bar, because it just feels,
right.
And it's like, my flow gonna switch right here. I just knew, like, time to switch up the flow. Or crazy
So you just
punchline right
naturally
here.
get it. You pissing me off. I guess this is me. Like, if I was, to tell an artist, like, structure your 16s.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't always the dopest, but I kind of did everything. I structured the way it was. And if I did that, it'll help me out in the long run with performing it and everything. Because you got to end off your verse, too.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they just end it. They don't even sound like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like projecting your verse or whatnot, what would be some things advice you would give an artist
Study.
on being a better artist?
Study. Like, you study and study and then study some more. Whoever you... I don't really like the word competition, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when it comes to rap, it is competitive.
Yeah.
And I always looked at my competitors as Lil Wayne. Yeah, I always looked at my competitors like maybe Lil Wayne or, like a Kanye West or a Jay-Z. And you study them. You study who your opponent is. You're watching the highlight reels and what they do. And you gradually learn the way it works.
Speaking on that, I noticed that you keep yourself to par. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing that people don't understand either. Which is, I think, which helps brand you.
You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you look good, you know?
Does that actually, do you think that's the truth, though?
Oh, I know it's the truth. I know it's the truth. It's what you put in your body has an impact in ways we don't even think about. Like,
I only say this because you look good, right? But it's times you didn't feel the greatest.
and the
We
way
don't have to get on that, but
No, here's the thing. The way you stay here, the way you keep pushing, you got to get up and go outside. You got to drink some water. You will feel better through movement, through what you put in your body. Because there's chemicals in the almond, I want to say it's niacin,
yeah,
that improves your mood. There's antioxidants in cranberries and acai and blueberries, avocados, coconuts, all these things that literally boost your mood and give you more energy. But when you get in a slump, you don't feel good, you're depressed, so you start eating trash, it only worsens it. Or you start smoking hella weed, it only worsens it. And, that's a conversation that I think that, we should have more. Like,
For sure.
on my album, I say, building up muscle, just chicken breast and asparagus. You know what I'm saying? Because that shift in diet plays a huge role in your mental health, in your physical health, and everything.
So you started, 15, 16?
Yeah, I was about 16 the first time I traveled out of the city to do music. So yeah, 16.
All right, so you seen the highs of everything, I assume the lows as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What musically were you loving it, or when did it get to where like I'm loving this shit to where really I'm loving it but not really, to where it got you in the stage of putting yourself inside, you know what I'm saying, inside of getting checked in. How did it
Okay.
get to that? Because outside looking in, I'm thinking like, he got it together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's more of a that's more life than
That's what I'm
music.
saying. Even within doing all the music, you know,
Okay.
you just assume everything's all great, but not knowing like.
You know, it's
I'm
funny. I be
fucked up.
forgetting that. I be forgetting that. Like, I be so focused in my world and what I want to create, and that there is an audience,
Yes.
and I know there's an audience. That's why I create. That's why I'm transparent. But you get to a point where you just, I'm never putting on for an audience. I'm never trying to put on a show necessarily. I'm just honest. So what you're referring to, like I checked in to a mental hospital during it was just thing after 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 thing, right? And it started because I remember I was just driving down the street. It was like around the George Floyd thing, right? And that was heavy.
Where's music at for you at this point?
I'm not worried about music.
Where's your music at though? Like, as a fan, where would the music? Where would Irv's music be? Like for me, like where's it at this point?
I wasn't tripping off music.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't even
So
tripping off
nothing
music.
was out or nothing for real.
It was stuff out. I wasn't tripping off of it though.
Wasn't tripping okay.
I was dealing with so much stuff in life for the years leading up to it. Like after my daughter was born, I had to go through a crazy custody battle.
Okay.
So whenever you're trying to raise your child and handle your responsibility, music sound goofy as hell.
Yep.
I ain't worried about that shit. Like I'm trying to get right as a man. So around that time, it was a lot of stress, but no time to stop and like think about what you feel and think about what you're dealing with. So it was just another thing in a 30-year run of things that never were addressed. You know, like your homie got killed when y'all was kids. Your sister died. You seen somebody get their brains blown out when you was a kid. You see, like all these things.
Your cup just filling up.
And you don't say nothing. Don't.
Yep.
So nigga, we all deal with it. But you go and go and go and go and you just suppress, you brush it off, keep pushing. And, you know, I was just driving one day and my face was just hella wet. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, what the fuck? I won't say crying, because I wasn't crying, but my face was just wet. Tears was just, so I was like, ooh, shit. I need to get therapy. Something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because it kept happening. Like I'd just be driving and just face just soaked, bro. And I was like, so that would happen, and then I started having real bad anxiety attacks off of like, you know, like I had PTSD but didn't know how bad, because it would be like gun shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be in a situation where somebody start shooting, and I gotta take people and run them and hide them so they not just shit that just kept being triggers. And this is before I understood what a trigger was, because we don't do that. You see what I'm saying? Which is what I do want to change. And that's why I talk about what I do so openly, because I was fucked up, man. Like it was bad. And I didn't know how bad it was until it got to a point where, again, it's thing after thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, to where there's a disproportionate response to what seems like a small thing. It could have been somebody might have scratched my car and I just crash out. But it wasn't a scratch on the car. It was 30 plus years of things that weren't addressed, things that weren't handled, things that weren't explained. It was a lot. So when it comes to music, the music was always therapy. You know what I mean? Since the beginning. I talk about my little sister dying in my first album. You know what I mean? And that's why I say earlier in the interview, I didn't realize how much of an escape I was using music as, because that was the only way I was able to express. My bro just got killed after, like, he was playing basketball and got shot and killed. And we're still in high school. And we went right back to school, kept pushing. Nobody talked about it. Or I just got shot at. I heard a bullet ricochet off the ground. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit that's just normal, it's not normal. And even on tour, you know, rest in peace, MJ. I lost a tour member on tour. He was shot and killed in Reno, Nevada. You know what I'm saying? This is the man sleep right in the bunk across from me. So it's so much trauma that it happened. Keep pushing, whatever.
Yeah, you treat it as normal.
yeah, you treat it as normal, and it's not even like it's a badge of honor. It's just you don't know how bad it's fucking with you in the background. It's like you got tabs open in your head, and all these tabs are open and still running, but you're not aware of it until you might get around to shooting, and then you go do whatever. But later that week, you just off. Something's off because you ain't processed that it's not normal. You know what I mean? We get taught things are normal that aren't normal. So once I got to that point where I was knowing I need to start therapy, I was already working on doing that, and I was making space for that by falling back on certain things I was doing. Like I stopped drinking and smoking so much, right? Because I needed to handle things without being high or drunk. And that's when everything comes. That's when it's time to really face, like, all right, nigga, you ready to do it? You know what I'm saying? All that shit that's tucked down, like, you sure you ready to? Okay. And I stopped. I was running my family shop for 5 years, making sure that my parents could be straight, and I stepped back from that for a little bit because I got things to a good place. And again, I'm like, something's wrong. When I did that, when you're not working yourself to death, because the thing is, you can smoke yourself to death, drink yourself to death to stay distracted. But people think, well, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm regular. But you're going to work and working yourself till you get home and pass out so you don't have time to think about things that are bothering you. And that's what I was doing. So when I stopped doing that, the floodgates opened. There was no work to distract me. There was no drugs or alcohol. And sexually, I was more disciplined, so it's not like running behind hella women. And I had to deal with it. And while I'm starting to deal with all these things, I got family stuff going on, people that I'm providing for, and it turned into the perfect storm of it's the best thing that ever happened to me, bro. Like I don't know how to articulate it.
No, I get it.
But it was the best shit ever. It didn't feel like it, and it didn't look like it, but I knew when this started happening. Like, whew,
I feel
man.
like I'm going through that breakthrough now. I tell people all the time, like, I don't need music for what I need it for. Mm-hmm. And it's at a time where I'm the best that I've ever been in music. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to get away from it. So, like, that's a... Yeah, damn, we got to double back on this because it get deep and people don't realize it.
You got to get to ground zero to have a solid foundation. And that's the thing I think people need to, whatever you're going through, however bad it seems, like, you're going to survive it. You've survived everything else. You're going to survive this, but you're going to come out on the other side a different kind of monster for sure.
We walk away from here tonight. I never see you again. I have to hold on to a piece of advice. Mm-hmm. What would that be from you?
I say that if you pay attention and you pray and you really spend time trying to hear what God is telling you, the things that we go through, the things that we survive, you'll be able to find some of your life purpose in it because you survived it. You'll be able to help explain to somebody else who needs to hear it from you. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to help them navigate that situation that you survived. And they might be from a similar background as you. So when you say it to them, it's going to really hit.
Resonate, yeah.
So hang in there, keep pushing, because it's bigger than you. It don't matter how unique or whatever you think your situation is. You're going to be able to help somebody when you come out on the other side of this, and you're going to be equipped to go so much further. Like you going to make it through. Like literally, you're going to make it through or you won't. And if you don't, ain't shit to worry about anyway. But 100% of the times up until today, every time you got sick, every time you was broke, every time anything happened, you recovered. This is no different.
Yeah. My thing, your gift ain't for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things I've learned and realizing really what that means. Mm-hmm. You know, and how I'm a natural helper, but I didn't realize what I was supposed to do with it. So what you're saying is spot on, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna have to double back on this.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like we didn't break the surface low key.
Nah, we can go on forever.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, the album's fire. The title of that.
Big Lover.
Yeah.
Big Lover. Hey, it's the love story that we've never heard in R&B ever. We've never heard this story in R&B.
It's perfect.